Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing our first retrofit on this BMW E87 130i. Now if many of you guys haven't seen it yet, I purchased the BMW E87 1 Series with the N52 engine with the black valve cover recently. And I said I was going to start doing a lot of retrofits to this car. And today is the day we're going to be starting them. Now the first one I'm going to be doing is something that the 1 Series in this country, especially in the UK, do not come with an all in Europe. And that's simply because BMW felt people didn't actually need it in this car. And I think it was because when you actually sit in these cars, the stalk would be touching too close to your knees and it would make the drive very, very uncomfortable. Secondly, just like Porsche, when you have an automatic, they feel that you actually don't need this certain feature on these E87s. So today we're going to be retrofitting a certain feature that this E87 does not have from the factory, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get onto this video and let's start installing this feature on this BMW 1 Series.
Goddamn, get it done, will ya? Woo. When the blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it. Shit. But said times in his rhymes, cause his memories. We running through New York, so you know.
So the first thing we're going to do is locate the battery and remove the negative terminal, just to be on the safe side. Just take that off, just like that. And what you're going to want to do, guys, is leave your boot open, especially if you've got one of these kind of cars. I've told you that many, many times. Same with the E63. Leave your trunk open, do not close your trunk, because otherwise you won't be able to access it. So now let's move to the front of the car. Okay guys, so now we're inside the car. What we're gonna need is a flat head screwdriver. And the reason for that is we're gonna be taking the airbag off this car. Now what you're gonna wanna do is locate where they go. So usually you can feel them at the back here somewhere. And it's right here, where you can see, and there's a spring. You should be able to feel the spring as you press in. Just like that. And just like that, the airbag comes out, or take off the whole airbag harness itself. You can just prise these up on the back here with a flat-headed screwdriver to open them up. If you're careful enough, just like that. And you can just set the airbag out of the way if you want to do it like that. What we're going to go ahead and do is unbolt this now. So this bolt is actually a 17. So you can see there, I just use my impact gun to remove it. And the bolt is that size. Many of you guys know what it will look like if you removed your steering wheel before. Then you're just going to want to give it a wobble. That it comes off just like that. We'll take this to the bench and let's get on with it. So here we have it, guys. This is BMW E87 steering wheel. We've got the paddle shifters on there as well. Now what I'm going to be doing is removing this bolt behind here. And I believe that's a Torx 20 or maybe a Torx 25. We're going to be taking that off. And what we're going to be doing today is taking this trim out. Now the reason I'm taking this trim out is because you can see it's all worn and battered. And I'm going to be renewing it. So we'll get that off and then I'll show you the rest of the retrofit we're going to be doing as well. So I have bought a new trim direct from BMW. This was £114 for a brand new one. So we are going to be just putting this new one on. And this is a Torx 20, as I said. So now after we've unloosened that one, we've got another one right here. And we've got another one right there as well. So we're just going to remove them. And that should drop the trim out. Now do remember when the trim falls, you're going to have all the connections for the buttons. So that's the trim now released, just like that. And we're going to have to remove the multifunction buttons, which are on the back of here. So we're going to have to pull them out very, very carefully, because we don't want to break them. Just like that. And the next one needs to come out, just like that as well. Now we have got to unscrew our buttons from this trim and put them onto the new one. So this is our new one, we're just getting out the packet right now. So you can see the wiring runs all around the trim to keep it out of the way. It's all clipped in here, all around here, and then the buttons just come out. And you're gonna have to put it in the same way. So when you pull it in, just locate your buttons, put them in like that. Locate all the trimming, goes around here. Just lock it all round. Now what we're gonna wanna do is reconnect this all back up. So it's a simple case of connecting this up, and you're going to want to connect this one back up as well. So now it's just a case of putting it back together. Do remember the screws go at the top here, not at the bottom, because the bottom ones are for them ones to go in after. This is your connection that goes back into your SNL for your multifunction buttons. So we'll just connect all the connectors back up. on the steering wheel. And then what we'll do is reconnect it all. And once you screwed everything down, that's how nice it will look fully with the new trim. And it looks so much better than this old one right here, which is all faded and worn and dirty. Look how much nicer the steering wheel looks. Now it looks like a new steering wheel. So that's the first part of the retrofit. Now the next part of the retrofit is going to be this bit right here. So we're just going to bring this completely out and lock it down. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to release this piece right here, which is your bottom cowling plate. Just like that, it comes away, and that's the bottom case off. Now you are going to want to lift up this top case as well, just like that. And they are quite stiff at first to come out, but once they're out, they're fine. Then you're going to want to use your Torx 20 and just release the bolts on this. And for the next one, 20's off. Take these screws out as well, put them somewhere down here. Take the SZL off. Let's take that off. Take that out. And what we're going to do is just detach this. Use our flathead screwdriver just to prise this out a bit. Just like that. And that's your SZL out. Now I know what many of you are thinking, why the hell have I got the SZL out the car? Well, that's for a simple reason. If you didn't realize, on the 1 Series, this car doesn't have cruise control. So we're going to be retrofitting today cruise control to this BMW 1 Series. Now, when you look at this one and this one, you can see this one now has the cruise control stalk, but this one is also missing the squib. Now, the reason they take the squib off on these is because when a car has an accident, the squib is going to go regardless, because this is what triggers the airbag. This is the clock spring. So when that's fired, you have to get another one for a car. So they're very expensive to buy. So this isn't expensive to buy. This is about 70 quid. You can pick them up for the cruise control, but the squib is very expensive because obviously when you have a crash, you definitely need a new one of them for your new airbag. And that's why they separate it from this when you buy them secondhand. Now I did buy this secondhand and it's a little good working part from another E87. It's also got the rear wiper as well, which is what I got on mine. And we're going to take off this squib now. Now to remove this squib, you can see here they're just little clips. You've just got to prise up and remove. It's very, very simple, just like that. And then you just want to get the clips up here as well. Pull it all off just like that. And then the squib's straight out. Now just to pull it back on, you just clip it back in just like that onto that one. You just hold it down, clip it in there, clip it in there, in there, and then everything's back in place perfectly. You can see there now you've got your other connection for your squib, and that's your connection for your SZL. That's why this doesn't come with it, because obviously all squibs are different. And also on here, you can have different buttons to others. That's why it's better to use your own one instead of one that comes with it, because majority of the time you're not going to use it because it ain't going to fit your car, because some of them may have a heated steering wheel button, some of them may not, and therefore the squib and all the connections will be different as well. So let's put this back on the car now and we'll get this fitted. Then what we'll do is put the steering wheel back on and I'll show you how to code in the cruise control, and then we'll test if it's fully working. Okay guys, so what we're going to go ahead and do now is reinstall this, and then what we'll do is put all the connectors back on the SZL once we get this on. So we're just going to locate this on here, onto the steering column. We'll bolt all this back up from underneath, just like that. We'll get that one in here. Everything's back on. Now we'll put the bolts back in. Just make sure everything's aligned first before we go ahead and do that, and tighten everything down. Okay guys, as you can see here now, we've now finished fitting a new SZL with the cruise control stalk to this BMW E87. Now many of you are going to be questioning, how now am I going to fit the old cowling with the cruise control stalk in the way? Well, as you can see here, this is the old one, and it hasn't got a cutout for the cruise control stalk, so it just won't go on. So what I've had to do is buy another one with the cutout for the stalk. Now you can get these from E92s and they will fit for the E87. Now fitting it is just a simple case of just locating it up here. You've already got a slot on the cruise control stalk for it to go up, and then just bolting it straight up. Now it can take a bit of time to get it into position, but once you lock it in, everything should just lock in on its own perfectly, just like that, and just like that. Then once everything's locked in and in position, you can just tighten your steering wheel back up so it's out of the way. But everything now fits perfectly, and I'll show you in a sec once we actually finish. Now what we're gonna go ahead and do is put the steering wheel back on, and then we'll get on to the coding part, and I'll show you guys how easy it is to actually do that, to code in cruise control to these cars. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is put the steering wheel back on. So you can't get it mixed up because you've got a green marker right here on the steering column, which aligns with this part right down here. On the steering wheel, you've got like a line mark, which you just put in position, and it can only go one way onto the SDL itself. So once it's on, just like that, it will slip straight on to the actual steering column itself. Now what you're gonna wanna do is obviously put your bolt back in and bolt it back up. Now it is very, very easy. Just put your bolt in. You wanna turn it by hand first. And then we're gonna go slowly. Just like that. It's now tightened down. Now you don't wanna over torque it too much, and you don't wanna tighten it too much. Now what we'll do is reconnect everything from here, from the steering wheel. Now what we'll obviously do is reconnect all the airbag connections. And just like that, that's your airbag connections back on. Then you just put the airbag in place and press it just like that, and it will go fully in. And that is how I changed the steering wheel trim and retrofitted the cruise control stalks to this BMW E87. Now let's move on to the coding. Okay guys, so today we're going to be using this TOPDON Phoenix Pro to code this car for cruise control. So what we're going to go ahead and do is use it. Now many of you would have seen I did a video about this product, but many of you guys haven't seen me use it yet. So we're going to go ahead and use it today for this video. So we're going to click Intelligent Diagnostics, and it's going to connect to the VCI, which is Bluetooth, of course. You can see it's connected. It will now read the VIN and decode the VIN. And as you can see, that was successful, and it can tell you what year it is and everything else. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is click Diagnostics. Then it will start loading up the program. Now this tool does work really, really fast, especially via Bluetooth. And you can see I'm away from the car. So it does everything it needs to, and it's a really, really good scan tool. Many people obviously ain't gonna be able to afford this. This scan tool is around £1,500 to buy, to £2,000, so do bear that in mind. But it does have 2 years updates, so you're able to do everything you want in 2 years, which is programming and coding. For programming, you will need to connect a cable up to the dongle, obviously, because you can't do it via Bluetooth. You see everything's correct there. We'll just click next on that. Then it will tell us about the ignition. We'll just click next again. And as you can see here, it's reading the vehicle data, so it tells you the weight. And it works really, really fast for what it is. Now, this is what TOPDON say, what they use for technicians and what they give to technicians to use in garages. This Phoenix Pro, along with, obviously, you've seen the voltage stabilizer as well. Now, obviously, many of you are going to be questioning, do you need a voltage stabilizer? The answer is no. This is simply only coding. This isn't programming, so you don't need that. So if you're programming, and obviously can take a lot of time, then you need a voltage supply connected to the car. But for this, we don't actually need that. So we're only just going to be using simply just the way it is on the battery power, just to code this in. They can see that it can take a bit of time here while it gathers all the information from the car. Bear in mind, this car is CAS free, so it does take a while to get anything correct. You can see the battery is low as well. We've been using it a lot as well. This is another scan tool I'll come to, because obviously it's got 2 years updates. Whatever I need it for, it can do, whether that be programming, coding, whatever I need. So that's why I come to this scan tool a lot. And like I say, it comes with everything you need packed in it for 2 years. So, you know, why not use it to do programming and coding? And I believe we can edit the FA on this, which we'll soon find out when we go into here. And if we can, we'll do it, and then I'll show you how to code all the modules as well. So you can see here, it's going to go through everything. We can do a smart detection scan. We can go to system lists, special function if we want. We can go back here. We can go to coding and programming, and we'll just read the vehicle data. So you can click next. Let's go into Freedom Retrofit. We can do vehicle order change. We can change the FA, so the ignition's on, continue in the next step. So you can see here, this function has to modify vehicle data. Please record below ignition data as a backup in case of an error. And you can see here now, guys, I've added 540 into the ECU, so now we've got cruise control in there. So now what we'll do is click next, and if you can see here, now it's going to add 540, which it didn't have before. So we'll click yes to change that. The below data is what you want to write to the ECU, so you can see it all there. We'll click OK, and we'll just click. If you do not really know it, please stop. This function will change the vehicle order. If you lose the vehicle order, you must get them by yourself. You click OK. And what this will do is now write the vehicle order to the CAS and the FRM. The data has been written to the ECU. Please diagnose the vehicle, ensure it's okay. You may also need to recode what you change, which is what we know anyway. So now we can come out of here. We've done the freedom retrofit, and then what we can do is go to code and system list, and then we can just code the modules we need to code, which is the FRM and the DSC. So we can go to the DSC here, and then we can just do recode, literally right now, and it will recode it. Coding has been complete. Now what we can go to here is the FRM, and code that. It's right here as well. Let's do the recoding on that as well. And you can see there it's been complete as well. So now we've done that. Now obviously the next one we're going to do is just code the engine control module, just to be on the safe side as well, so everything matches up. So we'll just do that as well. Just code that. As you can hear, everything's been coded. Now it does say to code the combi, but you don't have to do that. Obviously many of you are going to ask me, where's the SZL like you do on an E60? You don't have an SZL separate module here on the BMW 1 Series. It's all in the FRM, same as the E90. Only the E60 has a separate SZL module to actually code. But on the 1 Series and E90s, you don't have that. So therefore there's no need. You control the footwell module, which is controlled, and the JBBE, which is all controlled by the SZL itself, which is all here. And we'll go ahead and just code that as well. To do that, we'll just code the JBE as well so you guys can see. And that's all done, guys. Now we've recoded the JBE. Now if we go here, we can go to display vehicle order, and you guys can see that cruise control has been fitted to this car. You can go down here, you can see right here, we've now got cruise control in the car, and that's how easy it was to actually code it. Now I actually use this Phoenix Pro, but if you do have your Launch Creator Elite, you'll be able to do this as well very, very easily. The options are the same. Please remember, TOPDON is the same as Launch. All their software is exactly the same. So the way I did this is the same way you'll be able to do it on the Launch Creator Elite. So do bear that in mind as well. The Launch Creator Elite is a very powerful tool. Do not underestimate it. The only reason I didn't use it was purely because I couldn't find it right now because it's somewhere else in my garage. That's why I chose to use this one. But as you can see here, this coded it, and so will the Launch Creator Elite, and I will show you that in another video. So there you have it, guys. That's how you code in cruise control to your BMW E87. Very, very simply, just like that. So there you have it, guys. That's how easy it is to actually install cruise control to your BMW if you don't have it. Now, as I said to you, in Europe and the UK, this is very, very common on these hatchback 1 Series not to have cruise control. Now, I do know in the US, if you have an E82 E88, it does come with cruise control. Many of you will be shocked that this car didn't come with cruise control. But as I said, don't be shocked, because it's the same like Porsche in the USA. All you guys get cruise control, but here it's very, very hard to get on any Porsche. You only get that on like the Carreras, but on the Boxsters and the Caymans, it's like very rare, and it's very, very hard to even find a part to retrofit it to the Porsche, because it's something that's so highly desirable, especially here in the UK. But as you've seen there, if you do want to give this retrofit a go yourself, you easily can, and you only need a basic tool just to code this in. As I did say to you, the Launch Creator Elite is exactly the same as that TOPDON Phoenix Pro. The software is exactly the same. The way you saw me do it is the way it will load up on the Launch Creator Elite, and you'll be able to code this in yourself just from that scan tool. You can change the FA, do the retrofit, personalization, and change it very, very easily. So don't think you can't. I just use the Phoenix Pro because it's a lot easier for you guys to see how to do it. But that is the same way on Launch Creator Elite. The software is the same, and you guys can do this retrofit at home yourself for very, very cheap and very, very easily just with a cheap scan tool. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will link both scan tools in my video down below. I'll try and link the trim and also the stalks if I can actually find them, but if not, the scan tools will be there for you guys to go and check out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.